guys, welcome to my channel and thank you for watching this video. So today's video is about how to be a good pilot. And to be honest, I'm in aviation now for 5 years, so I'm not super experienced as in that I'm already here for like 20 years or something, like no. But I did see some things happening, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because the people who are watching my channel, so you, most of the time are people who are starting in aviation, and that's why I'm trying to tell you this. First of all, I think skills is something which is trainable, right? So let's say you're not so good in landings. Well, okay, that's great for you, or maybe not so, but you can train that. And if you do 10,000 landings, then I'm sure you're gonna ace that, you know. And some people will gain a result faster than others. Skills are trainable, so I would not say that some kind of skill makes you a good pilot instantly. But I think the difference between a good and a bad pilot is attitude. Because as I said, skills are trainable, but attitude and personality is really hard to train or to change. And I know that there are like 90% of very awesome people. Like the people I fly with, 90% is great, really. I mean, they could be my best friends. But there's this 10%, and I don't know what happened to them, but they are a little bit different. Or different than the rest, let's say it like that. And they have a huge attitude, and I don't know why that is, but that's just what they have. And of course, they didn't wake up with an attitude all of a sudden. No, they developed that personality thing over the years. For example, when I look at me, I always try to be nice to people. Like, I will not treat people differently because they have a uniform on or because they are wearing normal clothing, right? I do not expect people to treat me differently when I wear a uniform, or when I have an extra stripe on my shoulder, because it shouldn't be a fact. It shouldn't be different. Unfortunately, it is different, because when I walk in my uniform, I do feel a complete difference the way I'm being treated everywhere. Like on the airport, like people, you cannot even compare the way they treat me as a passenger or the way they treat me when I'm flying. Which is very, very sad. But I personally try to not be like that. I try to act the same to everyone. But there's this 10% who really does mind. And that's where I want to talk about today. Because, I mean, in normal life, everyone has that, right? People are different, different personalities. But in the cockpit, this is a different situation. Because if you are one of those 10%, then you're actually very dangerous. This sounds very harsh, but this is the truth. Let's say I'm someone with a very big attitude, right? I know everything. Please don't tell me this, because I am in this position. Because I have 3 stripes or 4 stripes, whatever. Let's say I'm the captain, alright? There's this guy sitting next to me. I'm someone with a huge, huge attitude. I mean, do you think that if something happens in flight, that this guy is willing to help me? I mean, if I'm saying to him like, no, don't ask me this, if I'm just cutting him off because I am the captain, to say it like that, this guy next to me is less likely to say anything, because I probably know what's gonna happen. And that is super dangerous, because he's less likely to say something. I'm still human. I make mistakes as well, even though I have a big attitude. Having an attitude in aviation in the cockpit is really dangerous, and I think that is exactly the thing which makes you a good pilot or a bad one. If you find yourself thinking that you are truly the best and that no one can intervene with you, or no one can teach you something which is of a lower rank, then you're really dangerous. And that is super, super important that you're gonna change that. And for all the people who are now watching and they are from a flight training, or they are starting the pilot training, of course, these people who end up like this also start in flight training. They also had their first solo once, and they had many checkrides as well. They had their CPL. They had the same career as you are about to experience. Just try not to be like that. Make sure that you can take criticism, that people can say things to you without you getting angry, or without you saying yes but I did this, blah blah blah. No one really cares. I mean, you did it wrong and you better fix it. Like, you know what I mean? I know that in flight training this is like a huge thing, because then people are saying this to you constantly, like yes but no, forget it. Not yes but you did it wrong, you fix it, or you should have done it better. So then the lesson is just to like learn from that, right? So how to be a good pilot? Well, fix your attitude and be willing to take criticism and to learn from those things. I think that's where it's all about. So let me know if you have experienced something like this, if you've flown with someone with a huge attitude or with some kind of problem, and how this changed your flight or the way you dealt with things. I think it's very important, because this is like a part of the CRM thing. I'll make another video about it later. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye!